In this second lesson in factorising trinomials, the first thing we're going to look at is multiplying out the brackets. This is really important to understand this process because we're going to try to reverse it. So if you look at this example up here, multiplying out the bracket gives x times x makes x squared, x times 2 makes 2x, 3 times x makes 3x, and finally 3 times 2 makes 6 at the end. This simplifies down to x squared plus 5x plus 6. So you can see that the 3 times 2 made the 6, and the 2x and the 3x multiplied or added gave the 5x here in the middle. So if you're trying to reverse that process, you need to remember that to get the number at the end, you multiplied the 2 by the 3. So in the same scenario, we think of what things multiply to make the 7 here. And we write them down, and that's plus 7 times plus 1, the factors of 7. So they're the only factors in this case of 7, so we can put them into our brackets and say that it must be x plus 7 and x plus 1. From the last lesson, because there's two pluses there, the brackets must include pluses. And if you're good at multiplying out brackets, why not reverse the process? Multiply this out to get back to x squared plus 8x plus 7. So let's look at these examples here. These are all going to be pluses, so we'll start off easy and we'll get harder as we go. So when you're factorising this example here, the first thing we look at is the number at the end. Now the number at the end is a 2, so we have to think about things that multiply to make 2. In this case you've got 2 and 1, and that are the only things that multiply to make 2, so they have to go in your brackets. So x plus 2 and x plus 1. Again, checking it, the 1 times the 2 will make the 2, and if you multiply this out you get a 2x and a 1x, which will make your 3x in the middle. Going down to the next example, we've got a 6 at the end this time. So you firstly have to write down the things that multiply to make 6. So we can have 6 times 1 or 3 times 2. So this time we've got a choice. We can either put a 6 and the 1 at the end or a 3 and the 2, but what we have to remember is these values have to add together to make the middle value here. Now if you add a 6 and a 1 together, you're going to make 7, but if you add 3 and 2 you get 5. That's our answer. So again, you can multiply this out to check. If you did the a times a, you get a squared. A times 2 would give you 2a. This would give you 3a, and if you add them together you get 5a's, and the 3 times 2 makes the 6. Okay, finally the last one here, we've got 12 at the end to make. So you think of things to multiply to make 12 as your first step. You could have 12 and 1, 6 and 2, or 3 and 4. So there's a variety of choices here. But we have to remember these numbers have to add to get the middle value here. So if you pick the ones that add to give you 7, well, that needs to be 3 and 4. Again, the signs are going to be pluses because there's pluses and pluses here.